I did was on GateCreeper.
Oh, you didn't do nothing on Iron Reagan?
No.
Why? You had all this time.
I figured you would know who they were.
No, I had no idea. I haven't had time. I thought this was one of your bands.
I like a couple of their songs, but they're a little too repetitive and a little too close to Nuclear Assault for me to really listen to the full albums. I only like the split releases like this.
All right. I got the Wikipedia up, so we'll be good.
That's a good idea.
Oh, keyboard. Look at that. All right. Ready?
Yes.
Welcome to Rat Salad Review. I'm Wayne. Greg is to my left, or maybe to your right, I don't know. And Troy's on the bottom as usual.
That's port if you're on a boat. Just so.
Port.
Oh, he's on the port. Okay, good. Welcome. So, how is everybody doing?
Good.
Usual?
Yeah.
We got a lot of stuff going on tonight on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Greg's got his interview with Dan Mongrain from Voivod. I will put that on at the end of the show. So if anybody, I know people have been wanting to see this interview with Greg.
Yes. I've gotten at least 4 or 5 different PMs and a phone call, so it will be up. I'm glad everybody wants to see it. It was just I didn't have an answer at first.
Yeah. So that'll be on at the end of the show, so you have to suffer through all this stuff first. But yeah, that'll be on the end. And also, adding a new segment to the show, Scott Waters from the band Ultimatum. He will be on the show, trying, I guess, maybe weekly, talking about new releases. So that'll be kind of cool because I kind of wanted to add some kind of thing about doing new releases or whatever to the show. So he'll take care of that part. He does it anyway on his own, so I figured, hey, let me see if he'll add it to our show. So he said yes, and we will be doing that now.
Cool.
Yep. All right. So let me see what's going on.
News.
Yeah. Diamond Head releasing a new music video for the song "Belly of the Beast." And no, it's
cool.
It's not the Anthrax song.
I didn't think so.
But it's coming from their upcoming album, The Coffin Train, which will be released May 24th.
Huh.
That'll be cool.
I liked the last one. So.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any of the new releases. I'm kind of like really behind on them.
Their first 2 are still their best too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can't replicate that, but the newer ones are pretty good. I didn't like the ones from the early 2000s, but they found their way again.
Yeah. I just wish I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The original singer.
Sean Harris.
Yes, Sean Harris. I wish he didn't leave, but I could see he's probably old now, and his voice really isn't going to hold up to how it used to. So.
Yeah, would have still been nice to have him hang around though.
Venom is doing a 40th anniversary deluxe vinyl box set of I can never pronounce this. In Nomine Satanis. Am I saying that right?
In nomine de Satanis. Yeah.
There's no day in there, just in nomine.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
But yeah, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think six vinyls. I mean, the first 5 albums, and then extra vinyl of like demos and stuff. And
cool.
a book and a poster and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool. A little expensive though. It's like $200. But it's a nice little box.
I mean, you get 6 vinyls. That's not really too outrageous for a box set.
No, not at all. But still, a lot of money. And it's autographed too. So.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. What else?
Yeah, but who, I don't even know who's in the band now.
Oh, I have no clue.
Do you know Troy?
No clue.
I don't think anybody does.
No, because there's Venom Inc. as well, and I can't remember who's and what's anymore.
No idea.
Okay, so it's just Kronos and Venom, and then.
Well, he's not by himself. He's got two other guys with him.
I'm Mean from the original band.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Unless you count his forehead, then that's another.
The guy took 20 years to learn how to play a bass. I wouldn't expect him to be playing the guitar and the drums, too.
That's true. Troy's favorite, Udo. He's using a walking cane while performing.
We go to bus.
Yeah, he went to bus, all right. Came back with a cane.
You know what happened? Someone
slipped down the stairs.
Maybe. No, but a fan, he went up to him and said, "Hey, Udo, can you please sign my two first Accept records from you, please?" No, we go to bus. And then that's when the guy took it and smacked it over his head, knocked him on the floor.
Wow.
That's probably what happened.
That's definitely what happened.
Who would have done that?
No, I'm kidding.
Guys, how old is this guy? He's like 77.
He's like 100 years old.
I believe it was KK Downing that did it.
KK Downing?
Yeah, KK. Jesus, Wayne, come on.
Ooh, Udo is 66 years old.
Yeah, and he's still up there rocking.
I go to bus.
He's with a cane, though.
He goes to the cane. He'll chase you with the cane. We go to bus.
Just pushes your records out of his way with the tip of the cane.
We go to bus. I have to get a new shirt now with Udo walking with a cane. That would be the part 2. We go to bus.
Poor Udo.
Poor Udo's right.
Yeah. They said that he suffered a heart attack, but he said it wasn't a heart attack. He was doing too much at the time, and what the hell did I say? I read something. He had a body breakdown, and it wasn't a heart attack, he says.
Body breakdown, okay.
Yeah, that was around 1990. So I wonder if that's anything. Who knows?
Well, in 1990, I think that was when Accept was touring without him, wasn't it?
No, I thought no, that was like 88 or something, wasn't it? Maybe, or I thought that was maybe earlier than that.
I thought that was like 89, 90.
I could be wrong.
Well, didn't he do his farewell tour already?
I think so. Because Animal House was 87.
2018, a special tour. It would be his farewell to Accept. He would no longer perform Accept songs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Lame.
How about that new Hellboy trailer?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? Oh man, it looks great.
Yeah, I thought it looked really good actually. I'll be honest with you. Not was never really crazy about Hellboy to begin with.
Nice.
But
what the hell happened there?
Trailer got me excited. Should be a good movie.
No, I've been hearing too much about the Michael Jackson documentary the last few days, so I haven't seen any of the movies. Have you guys heard about that thing?
No.
Oh my God, you guys got to watch it.
No.
You got to watch it, and we should really talk about it because I don't know, there's a lot of screwed up stuff on there. I hear.
Huh.
That he's done to. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about all the things he's done all the years with all the kids and stuff like that.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, apparently these two guys that were involved with it, they were telling all the things that went on behind the scenes and things like that at Neverland Ranch. A lot of it's pretty messed up.
Are we talking like pedophile stuff?
Oh yeah.
That's not good.
Really, really disgusting stuff. It's kind of strange how they come out with it now that he's gone and everything, and he can't come back and say, if this is true or not, which you don't know if you can believe him or not. But
then he would go to jail. He would go to jail then, no?
Yeah, you would think so. But
I mean, that's a big part of why I never believed the original cases, though. I mean, both of them just screamed a fraud.
Yeah.
I was pretty convinced he never did it, but I guess I'll have to see the movie.
Yeah, well, it's a documentary. It's a 2-part documentary. It's like 4 hours long. So I'm just,
Oh God,
yeah. It's on HBO.
I don't know about all that.
You got to watch the whole thing though. My mother said she tried watching it and she couldn't get halfway through it because she was just like kind of disgusted at the things that were, being said. And from people at work were talking about it too, and just listening to some of the things, it's just it's pretty bad.
It's on HBO.
Yeah. Now the Jackson estate wants to, I guess, sue HBO for airing it or something. I don't know. Strange too, because I think Harpo, the Oprah's company, I think did the production on it or something, or whatever he did with it. And I thought Oprah was pretty good friends with Michael Jackson, so makes you think. I will be watching it at some point, hopefully this week.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
And that's called Leaving Neverland, right?
Leaving Neverland, yeah.
I did see the one about R. Kelly.
Yeah, oh yeah. You see, he just got arrested today.
Yeah, good, he deserves it.
Yeah. He did an interview on NBC, I think, this morning, and he was like yelling and he had a fit and everything. He like left the interview or something. I don't know. I was watching the news, but I wasn't paying attention to it. I just saw him get up and he was screaming at the interviewer and everything, and it was going nuts. Yeah, it's kind of weird. That doesn't make you look guilty at all.
No. I had read somewhere he didn't have enough money to bail himself out, so a fan had to bail him out.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's a lot of money for a fan to give you. Damn.
I know, $100,000.
Yeah, I wish I had fans like that. If any of you fans have any kind of money like that, please support us.
Yes.
We'll get Greg a new computer, a microphone. We'll make the show real good.
All for only about $300.
Yeah, that's done. We can get it done.
Yeah. That's less than a third of what R. Kelly wanted, and he's a pedophile.
Yeah, and I don't think you're not a pedophile, are you? I'm not.
Fuck no.
Troy's not. I don't think, right?
Not what?
Pedophile.
I'm not a pedophile.
See, there's no pedophiles on this show.
Please.
Everything's good, so send the money. The Prodigy, not really a metal band, but back in the day, they were kind of cool. Keith Flint died. Well, not died. He committed suicide.
Yeah.
49 years old.
Hmm.
I saw that. That was a shame.
Yeah. Him and King Kong Bundy died the other day. I think they actually died the same day. King Kong Bundy.
They did.
Keith Flint.
They did. Did you see the original post WWE did about King Kong Bundy dying?
No.
It had a picture of George the Animal Steel instead of King Kong Bundy. Yeah, somebody screwed up big time.
Oh my God! How do you mess that up?
I mean, other than being bald and big, they don't look the same.
No, George Animal Steel was like really hairy too. It's like not
real
even
hairy, and he's even sticking out his fucking green tongue in the picture. It's like,
oh my God. That's right. I turned Raw on the other night, and no, not Raw, SmackDown, and in the beginning they showed like a tribute to King Kong Bundy, and his face was on there for a second, but then the parental advisory thing comes right on top of his head. So you can't even see what it was.
Wow.
Yep. What else do I got here? Oh, and yeah, it is crazy. Last thing worth even mentioning is David Wayne's former band, Reverend, returns with new lineup.
Really?
Yeah, the band that once featured late frontman David Wayne has been reactivated with a brand new lineup featuring Bill Rhines on guitar, Bobby Leatherlungs Lucas from Morbid Sin, Seven Witches, Overlord, Attacker on vocals, Joe Moore from Blood Feast on drums, and Alan Johnson from Exciter on bass.
Really?
Yeah. So back in action.
I always liked Reverend, especially their first album, World Won't Miss You. Well, I mean, anything with David Wayne on it's good.
Yeah. I
That
didn't know.
album.
I really, you know what? I got into Metal Church only like a few years ago. I really never knew how he died. He got into an auto accident in 2005. And
Yeah.
complications from that. Didn't know. I had no idea. I never gave it even a thought to look it up.
Huh. Yeah, I knew he had gotten into a car accident, but I don't remember specifically what it was he died from that. But, yeah.
Me neither. That'll be another show. Anyway, you want to get to tonight's topic,
Sure.
which is
GateCreeper, specifically their first album, Sonoran Deprivation, and then also this split with the mighty Iron Reagan here as well. And also, I don't know if I sent this
I don't think you did.
to you guys or not, but Sweltering Madness.
At the
The
cover.
little 7-inch of theirs. Huh?
I saw the cover.
Yeah. Oh, I love this one, man. Nice H.P. Lovecraft looking cover. It's swamp green and silver
Wow.
to match the sounds. Yeah.
Cool.
Everybody should go to their Bandcamp. It's only $7.
GateCreeper. I've called them many names since you announced this band.
Yeah.
Gatekeeper, Creeper. Creeper, Gatekeeper.
Creeper.
I know both of you said Crypt Keeper multiple
Crypt
times. That's pretty funny.
I said Gatekeeper. Wayne
Gatekeeper,
said
Crypt Keeper, Great Sleeper.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh,
But yeah, they're death metal from Arizona. They play
the hot desert of Arizona.
Yep, and the name of their first album is Sonoran Deprivation, which references the Sonora Desert in Arizona. And really,
sleep deprivation. That what did you say?
Sonoran Deprivation, like the desert. You know?
Oh, okay.
That's pay attention, Wayne.
I'm sorry.
Smack ass. But anyway,
they'll be on the show next week. Go ahead.
I'd like to get them on, but
hey,
yeah, it's pretty unique though. I don't. There's not many metal bands from Arizona, and certainly not many death metal bands. So I think it's cool they're embracing their state and bringing it in into the music as well. But you know, the lyrics and just the sound of it really.
Whoa! You said lyrics?
Yeah.
What lyrics?
The lyrics. They're there, man. Actually, for guttural vocals, Chase is one of the easier ones to understand.
Really? See, I'm not very familiar with death metal.
Yet you like black metal.
That's different. It's different.
Yeah, I know it's worse, but that's a topic.
I don't know. This sounds to me more like doom with black with like death metal vocals.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. You know, they're real. Their biggest influence is really that Swedish death metal scene from the early '90s, like Entombed, Dismember, and then from America also Obituary, and then there's Grave, who's also Swedish. Hear a little bit of death in there as well. But they've got their own take on it. That's what I liked about them so much. What really struck me is they sound just so fresh. Even the cover to that single, and then the sound, it's really like the old God's Return, man. It's very H.P. Lovecrafty. But they quickly, easily became my favorite newer death metal band. There's no question about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you come across them?
I was looking at Iron Reagan stuff, and somebody had posted a live clip of GateCreeper playing, and it said something about, check out the band that's on the split with them. So I watched the whole set, and it was just awesome, man. And then I ordered that and downloaded the MP3 files immediately. Good stuff.
What does that split have to do with them? Like those two bands like completely different, which is good because then you got one band that's death metal and the other band that's like very thrashy.
Well, I mean, they're both on Relapse. You know, they both have kind of that dirty sound that was established a while ago, but they got their own take on it. So they're similar in that way, but then also you get a nice crossover thrash, and then you get death metal on the old school death metal on the other side. And I just think it goes together well. You know, I mean, Relapse seems to pick their bands for their splits pretty well.
Yeah, it's a cool little split. I like how it's like, you know, two completely different bands instead of like the same music, which is good.
Lets each side of it stand out more.
Yeah, I think so. I tend to prefer the Iron Reagan side. So.
I like it a lot. It's maybe my favorite thing they've done so far. But,
yeah. This turned me on to them now. I'm definitely a fan of Iron Reagan.
They were originally a side project of some guys from Municipal Waste.
Oh, yeah, I got that thing up here, yes.
I forget what other bands now.
Cannabis Corpse. Let's see here. Consisting of Municipal Waste vocalist Tony Foresta, Cannabis Corpse, and Municipal Waste bassist Phil Hall, former ANS, I don't know what that is, guitarist Mark Bronzino, and former Darkest Hour drummer Ryan Parrish. Oh, and Hellbear bassist Rob Scotus. And they came together in 2012. They released 3 full-length albums.
Yep.
So I will definitely pick up those albums because actually, Troy, I know you didn't listen to the Iron Reagan, but
I didn't.
Definitely listen to it because you will like it. It's up your alley.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised Troy hasn't heard them because Troy loves crossover.
Yeah, it's definitely a Troy thing. What are you doing that for?
What's that?
I
can only see Wayne unless Troy's talking because the phone switches back and forth.
See this right here? That piece of meat right there? That's the little girl.
Oh, another piece of meat?
Yeah. She's just leaning against me. That's partially why I smiled.
Anybody listening to the podcast, he has his dog Naya next to him. It's not a real little girl.
No, I call it a little girl. Great day. There she is.
They still, even with the light on, they still can't see it on the podcast.
I know. So, you know, it's very, very sad, real quick. Mr. Nasty Face, he's
I was going to say.
He's dying.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Did you take him?
You know, you could see him right there.
Yeah.
He's laying there. He's on the bottom. He's not supposed to be there. I didn't take him. He's out. He's out
beyond that.
That sucks.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. Me too. Just wanted to tell you about Mr. Nasty Face.
That's okay. We'll have to do a tribute show to him. All his favorite songs. Yeah.
What's his favorite band?
What's his favorite band? Death.
Makes sense.
One of my favorites too. But anyway, so I'm sorry, it's going on the tangent.
It's okay.
That's all right.
I'll listen to Iron Reagan, so I can only comment on GateCreeper.
Cool. But getting back to GateCreeper, you know what I liked a lot about this, and even though you can't understand the vocals, Wayne, you know, they got some really catchy rhythm lines and riffs, and the solos are real good.
I was gonna say the music is awesome. I really like the music a lot. The production was really good on this, and it's a lot more. It's different from what I expected death metal to sound like. But you know, it's 2019, so of course they're gonna sound a lot better than they used to. Since the last I heard of death metal kind of stuff. But I really, as far as the music went, I really loved the music. Vocals, I wasn't crazy about. If the vocals were more close to like how Deceased, like King sings like that,
Uh-huh.
that would fit perfect with GateCreeper.
It's not hard to say.
It's not, but I just want to say Crypt Keeper.
Keeper.
So, what'd you think, Troy?
Again, like the vocals, they don't do much for me, and I'll be honest, with those types of vocals, I would rather listen to a band like Suffocation, because that is just like brutal. You know, I mean, this is good. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, obviously there's a market for it, otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. And besides that, you know, I think it definitely appeals to people like that lean more towards doom. It's just slower, and you know, the production was okay. Seemed pretty decent. It was all right. It was okay. I mean, for me, you know, like, because that's not normally my cup of tea.
Right.
You know, so I would say, you know, I'd say people that like death metal, generally speaking, would be interested in you know, in checking them out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
well, the bands I named earlier, you know, anybody that likes Entombed, Dismember,
Yeah, of course.
Obituary,
Yeah, like
especially
that.
the
Yep.
early stuff.
I was surprised there was no blast beats. I was really expecting like constant blast beats.
I know. No.
And
No
there
blast.
wasn't, and I was very surprised, and I maybe that's why I liked it a little bit more, because you know, I like blast beats sometimes, but some bands can like overdo it, you know.
And
Yeah.
then it's too much. Yeah.
Yeah. And they didn't really do. Don't think there was any in any of those songs that you sent us.
No.
I think they
No.
have a really cool name, though. That's for sure. I like their name.
Yeah, it's a cool
Yep.
name.
It's a cool name. It's actually a pretty cool story. Chase Mason, the vocalist, he formed the idea for the band and all after he got sober. He used to be a heroin addict, so I thought that was cool because I identify with that, you know. But you know, he got the idea to form the band and build it out of that. Their first EP, which I also picked up. The lyrics are real dark and deal with that, and that's a good EP. But they've grown since then, and anyway, that's how he came about the idea, and he formed the band out of that, and he's been driven to it, and it's really cool. It's really good. And
Do you have their website or anything so people can check?
GateCreeper.com, and they are also on Bandcamp and Facebook.
Facebook too? Wow.
Yes, and I can't remember the name of.
Every band is on Bandcamp, which is cool.
What? Yeah, they're on Bandcamp as well. That's what I was trying to think of.
Do bands get like 100% of the money, or they still owe stuff to Bandcamp?
No, you have to pay. You have to pay
like a fee.
Portion. Yeah, you have to pay a fee. Yeah, they get a cut.
Yeah, that's still, you know, at least you're still getting most of it than what you would get at a record label, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It seems like the thing to do lately now.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because the single and the album, which I don't have out here with me, that I bought off of Bandcamp, came from them, but the split came from Relapse Records.
What were you gonna say, Troy?
Well, I was going to say about Relapse too. So it's not a horrible label. It's a pretty decent label too.
Mm-hmm.
And that album, not the what's that? The Sonoran Deprivation. That's their
Sonoran. Yeah.
What does it say? Sonoran.
Sonoran. Yeah.
Snoring deprivation.
You say tomato, I say tomato. I'm kidding. Sonoran.
You say potato, I say
potato. But yeah, so they're on Relapse. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it also depends. Like, you know, when you, I mean, Bandcamp is great. There's so much that, you know, you can't do as an independent.
Right.
You know, I mean, even though these days that, you know, the labels, the deals are different for a lot of bands, they do legwork in a way that bands can't do.
Right.
Can't do it. They have the contacts, they have the connections, they know what to do, know when to do it, how to do it. And I tried to do a lot of stuff on my own and for my other band, and I did quite a bit, but still wasn't enough.
Yeah.
You can't do you sell yourself short. So on one hand, maybe you know a band will sign a deal, you know, for 10 years and not get anything,
Right.
you know, but there's a, you know, it's a catch there. The catch is if it's a decent label, maybe they'll you know, they'll put some time and effort and some funds into the band to promote them because they want to sell records, right?
Right.
So,
they're the ones going to make the money. So,
but there's other types of deals out there too, where there's some labels on some of the smaller labels, they actually they'll charge a band to sign a deal, which
really
is bizarre. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
That makes no sense.
It makes no sense, but it's done, and I'm not naming who, but I'm not doing it.
No, that's silly.
Whatever. You know, I mean, I guess that, you know, like the pay to play type of scenario that exists in the United States.
Right.
That's the same mentality that some of these smaller labels took.
Wow. And I can't believe people sign that. That's insane.
Some of them do.
Greg disappeared. Where'd he go?
He's being a magician.
That's it. I'm not putting his interview on now. He's back.
Somebody called me. Somebody called me, so I had to.
Somebody else waiting for your review?
Possibly, yes.
Yeah, because I remember CD Baby was like a big thing when that first came out, and all the bands were on there.
Yeah.
But that seemed to have died down a little bit, I think. I don't know.
I mean, we still sell songs and music and streams through CD Baby from our first record.
Oh, really?
The first M record. So, yeah, it's still a valid avenue for artists.
Yeah.
Probably
definitely.
the best for any independent, because they collect money. They actually collect money. CD Baby collected money from all different sources for publishing.
Yeah.
And I got a whopping check of $100.
Wow.
For last year, for first quarter last year.
Oh, well, that's not bad because that
$100.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That was for the Sweet Hollow record. So here I got this check, and it was the first time I received a check from BMI. Because there's two performance rights organizations, BMI and ASCAP. And I'm affiliated with BMI. I'm an artist under BMI. So BMI, I mean, I had, from 30 years ago, I have recordings that is under their catalog. I never received a penny. So now I got this $100 check. Whoop-dee-wow, I'm going to pay the water bill. Gas bill.
Yeah, right.
You know what's funny about that when you mention royalties and whatnot? I was just reading this article the other day about that guy Rick Astley.
Yeah.
And when that song came back as a meme, and then it was in all them TV shows and all that, he was saying, despite as much as it was used and all the different shit it was licensed for, he got a check for like 42 cents.
Wow.
No way.
That
really?
Now that sucks. You made more than Rick Astley.
But he made a lot of money back in the day.
I don't know.
16 million he's worth.
That's crazy. Over one song.
One hit wonder.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, I mean, you know what it is. The red hair, he doesn't have a soul. So without a conscience, he just has the ability to rise to the top.
That's true.
It's funny.
Too funny. All right. Well, this portion of the show is going to be cut short, I guess, because we got what?
10 minutes left.
10 minutes left of what?
Oh, no, not I just wanted to say one last thing about that single.
I wasn't going to end yet until
Oh, all right. Well, go ahead.
ahead.
Say what you're.
No, I was going to ask if anybody has anything to say.
Okay.
Speak your piece now.
Yeah. So we were talking about the split in the album, which are great, but this single here, "Sweltering Madness," like I said, it's only $7 on their Bandcamp, and you get a digital copy of it with the single. But those two songs, man, that "Sweltering Madness" was the first one I heard on that live thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best death metal song I've heard in at least the past 5 years. I mean, it just blew me away.
Wow. You hear that, everybody? It blew Greg away.
Yeah. It's really good. I highly recommend GateCreeper.
No, like I said, I really enjoyed the music part. Wasn't crazy about the vocals, but it's if you like death metal and you really like that heavy music, like I can't, whatever. Like the other, like Entombed and like all those bands you said, definitely check it out because you will like it.
Oh yeah, and check out Iron Reagan too because
definitely check
like them as well.
I'm gonna check out Iron Reagan.
It's a completely different band. It's not death metal, and the vocals are more thrashy. So definitely check out Iron Reagan. Like I said, I'm definitely a fan of them now. 100%.
Excellent.
So thanks for that, Greg. So it's rare that I find a band that I like lately.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, but this particular GateCreeper and Iron Reagan I've known about for a few years, but both of them because they're newer. Just they're great, and it really surprised me.
I've heard about Iron Reagan for a while, but just from the name, it's just kind of silly. So I never really bothered checking it out, But yeah, I listen to a lot of silly bands anyway, so not like it matters.
You like that Windmill song, man? Come on.
Yeah, hey, leave Halloween alone. Leave them alone.
Halloween.
All right, you guys got anything else, Troy? Anything?
No, nothing here.
Nothing. What are you looking at?
I got a text. John told me he can't find it anywhere. YouTube, website, nothing.
This show? Today's show?
Yeah. We're not live, are we?
No.
Yeah,
I can't do live because that thing doesn't work. I give up with that for now.
Okay.
I'm tired of having issues with it. So it is what it is. We'll be live at some point again, but I don't know. I think the times are changing again. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
So it is what it is for now. But we will be on YouTube, and we will be on iTunes and Spotify, and what else are we on? Podcast.com. What the hell's the other one that we're on? Spotify, iTunes. Oh, Stitcher. And,
Stitcher.
Yep. And also our website, ratsaladreview.com. And I thought there was one more thing. I don't remember. I can't remember off the top of my head now. Shit. Anyway, so let me try to make this easy for myself to cut this later. The new section of the show is going to be Scott Waters, which is going to be next. He's going to be going through some releases. And then after that, it's going to be Greg's interview with Dan Mongrain from Voivod. Everybody's been waiting for it. It was a very good interview. I wanted a video interview, but you guys forgot to put the video on. So
what can I say?
It is what it is. It was a good interview, though.
It's Voivod, man. You got to think outside the box.
Exactly.
The audio with the picture collage works.
Yeah, you'll like it. I think I did a good job with putting the pictures in there and stuff. So hopefully you enjoy that. And thanks for Dan for coming on with Greg and doing the interview. It was very good.
Yep. Thanks a bunch, Dan. If you see this, it was a great interview. And, we don't just talk about Voivod in it. We also talk about
That's right.
Martyr, which was Dan's band for years that he started when he was a teenager. technical death metal. Clear vocals, you guys would actually probably
Yeah, I want to check
like
that
a
out.
few of their albums.
Yep.
And then we also talked a little bit about the Gore Guts album that he was on, From Wisdom to Hate, and this super group he was a part of. God, I still can't remember the name of it. Even though he said,
I watched that interview like 6,000 times, so I remember it. It's the Black Cloud.
Black Cloud, yep, up in Montreal.
Yep.
And that was organized by Pierre from Oblivion, and Dan played in with like. Just watch the interview.
Yeah, watch the interview. It goes through all that stuff. Should I even put it on now? You just went through the whole thing.
I did not.
No,
There is a very fun story about ravenous medicine.
That's right. I will put that on after this. Oh, and I remember what it was now. I'm doing a contest. I want to try to get 100 subs to our show on YouTube by April 12th, I believe. It probably won't happen, but I want to try.
Let's try.
So everybody, please share the show and tell your friends to sub to us. And by April 12th, if we get 100 subscribers, I will have a contest, and whoever gets picked will win the reissue of Ice Earth's Enter the Realm CD.
Oh.
So that comes out April 12th. So that's why I picked April 12th. So you got some time, but not much time. Almost a month. A little over a month, I mean. So get on that and you will win. Okay? Everybody share.
We like winning.
Yes.
Yes, we do. I try to share as much as I can.
Share it. Share everything. Share it every day.
It's just that, on Facebook, a lot of these people get real uppity on their pages.
I don't care.
On you.
I don't care. Share, share.
And then you go to bus.
We've actually had a couple. We've had we've had a couple new subscribers already. So keep it up.
Good.
Share. All right. Well, I guess that's it for tonight, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody. Enjoy Greg's interview. It'll be on next. See ya.
What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to No Life Till Metal. It is time for a No Life Till Metal graphics and records updates. I have several albums that I'm going to be showing you that I've worked on over the past few months. Many of these are out and available now. Some of them are up for pre-order. Some of them won't be out for a little time, but I wanted to start showing you some of this stuff. It's been a while since I've done one of these. So first up, Australian heavy metal band Light Force. This is actually very new wave of British heavy metal influence in the sound. It has what I would describe as Tank meets an early Iron Maiden, Paul Di'Anno Iron Maiden sound, where it has that punk delivery to the sound, even especially in the vocals, but it's definitely metal. Very bass-driven heavy metal, unlike Tank or Motorhead or Girl School in that area. And the vocals are definitely more in the punk. They're sung, they're clean, but they kind of have that raw punk edge to them. Great record if you're into that style of metal. I wanted to show you, this is the original cover and the cover that I redid. The original cover it's just a little duller. I just brightened it up a little bit. I also made the title readable, because you can't even read the title in this one. But on this one here, you can kind of see read the title where it says Mystical Thieves. As well, I brightened up the back cover and made a few minor adjustments to it. And there is a insert with lyrics and photos and all that kind of thing. And only available on black vinyl, full color centerings, very nice set. But this is available in the US through Boone's Overstock and at Rox Records through their CMD distribution site. As well, you can get it through the Soundmass Records sites, which is in Australia, I believe, and in the UK. I believe they ship for both, so you don't have to pay the exorbitant, fees to ship from the United States if you live out in the UK area. It was also released on CD, which I don't know what I did with the CD, but it's exactly the same layout. But it does have a 12-page booklet with full-color inserts, and it has photos and all the same liner notes. So available on CD and vinyl. Next up, let's see. I'm going to show you. All right, let me show you these. These are actually up for pre-order now. These are 3 albums from Deliverance that have been out of print and out of circulation for quite some time. So you have Assimilation, which is a very odd record for Deliverance. Some fans love it. I know people who think it's one of their favorites, and other people hate it. It was definitely a change in direction for them at this point. They were more influenced by the whole industrial movement that was going on at the time. So it's still heavy. It's still got a lot of metal elements, but it's also very industrial, very Rammstein influenced. Matter of fact, on the reissue, which this is not, this is an older version. On the reissue, there will be a Rammstein cover as a bonus track. This is exciting because this is one of their most underrated albums. As Above, So Below. You've got Michael Phillips on drums. Michael Phillips plays guitar, but he's on drums. No, Michael Phillips on guitar on this album. Fantastic record. And this thing is coming out again on CD with a new cover that I designed with Jimmy Brown. Jimmy Brown said he had this vision of a cover that he always had in mind for this album. And this is not what it was. Apparently this is what they... I guess this was his wife who came up with this cover, but it wasn't really what he was wanting. What he really wanted was this... well, you know what? You'll just have to wait and see. It's a brand new cover. It's a calm sea scene where the night sky is night and the sea is day, and the Deliverance logo is up in the moon and reflecting as the sun into the sea. It's very cool. It came out really nice. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to show you for that yet. And then this one. This is fantastic. Hear What I Say. I love this Deliverance record. It's coming out on CD. It's been out of print for a long time. Basically looks the same. I believe it does have one bonus track on it, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's basically all going to be the same cover art, you know, same liner notes, same center ring, all that sort of thing. But all those are available right now on Boone's Overstock. You can get a pre-order, and if you do a pre-order, I believe you get this Deliverance button and or the Hear What I Say sticker. I think that's it as far as bonus items that come with those CDs. But it's also coming out on vinyl for the first time. Now this is the test pressing. Super excited about this one coming out on vinyl. This is the test pressing. It sounds just fantastic. It was mastered for vinyl by Rob Caldwell at Bombworks Sound, and he did a fantastic... Oh, I'm sorry. This is actually mastered for vinyl by Isidro Garcia, who is a producer out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, which is where I'm from. And he actually produced the last 3 Ultimatum records and mastered those. He actually mastered this, and it sounds so good. I think you guys are going to be impressed with how good this thing sounds on vinyl. I don't think it's up for pre-order yet, but it will be up for pre-order very soon, if not like the day this video is posted, within days of this video coming up. Basically what the deal is, this is the vinyl test pressing. It sounds fantastic, but there's a minor flaw in this. The songs are out of order. So we had to have a new test pressing sent to me, and that's on its way to me. And as soon as that's approved, these test orders will, the pre-orders will go up, and you guys can order this album, as well as Detritus, If But For One, on vinyl for the first time. Again, another album that's been long out of print on CD, was never released on vinyl before. This is, again, the test pressing. This is not the cover. This is the insert that goes inside of the record. A little bit of a twist on this insert. This album will be coming out on vinyl. There's only 100 inserts printed, and those inserts are only available to those who pre-order the album. So if you don't pre-order the album, you don't get the insert. And the reason for that is they're trying to get the cost down on these things. I mean, records are becoming so ridiculously expensive. You know, we're paying $30, $35 for a record. So they're trying to get the cost down on these things. And by the time you print inserts and have them inserted in, you actually have to pay the duplicating company to insert the records in. And that adds another 35 cents to their, you know, each record. Now, on top of the, you know, printing of it. And if it costs, I don't know, I'm just guessing here, say it costs $1 each to print these things, that adds another $1 plus the 35 cents insertion fee. There's another $1.35 per copy that adds to the cost. So they're trying to get that cost down. So there's 100 of these. If you pre-order the record, you'll get the insert. If you like thrash metal, you want to get this album. Detritus are fantastic UK thrash metal. This being their second album, If But For One, was very progressive, mixed in some acoustic guitars here and there, a little bit of experimentation, but mostly just straightforward, great thrash metal. There is a song in there that kind of reminds me of Running Wild, kind of a pirate-like song. But otherwise, if you like thrash metal, I don't think anybody would be disappointed with this monster record. It's just fantastic. It's coming out on CD and vinyl. The CD will have a 12-page booklet in it. And let's see, Thought I brought it over here. Did I? Yes, I did. Here it is. As well, this is the Perpetual Defiance album. This is a Rodney Matthews cover, and this will be coming out on CD as well, and that will be going up for pre-orders very well soon. Yeah, it'll have a slightly different layout, but the cover is identical to this one. So, and while I'm sharing about all the Deliverance stuff, might as well show this as well. This is going to be coming out later this year. This is Deliverance, Greetings of Death, their very last demo tape that they recorded before they were signed to Intense Records. Glenn Rogers on guitar, fantastic. A lot of people like the sound on this demo better than they like the sound on the first album. I remember a lot of people saying that in reviews when the first album came out. Not that the first album sounds bad, this one just had a little more raw aggression to it. And I'm really glad this is coming out on vinyl and cassette tape. So this is actually the pre-order sticker that'll come along with it. Those are already printed and sitting in Illinois. Well, they'll be shipped when this is ready to go. All right, Rox Records. This is all Rox Records stuff. Holy Soldier on vinyl, I believe it was. Very hard to find. It wasn't. I don't even think it was pressed in the United States. I think it was only pressed in the UK. But fantastic album. You know, straightforward heavy metal, a bit of a more of a commercial edge to it. Not unlike maybe a Striper, but not Poison-like, or you know what I mean. It doesn't have that that poppiness to it. Diverse, fantastic vocals from Stephen Patrick. Great guitar playing. Just a fantastic record. If you picked up the Last Trade album from Holy Soldier from Rox, you're gonna like this one as much, if not better. A lot of people like it better. I tend to like this one a little more. It's slightly heavier, and I'm really glad it's coming out on vinyl. Again, this is the insert that comes with the vinyl. As well, it'll be coming out on CD with a 12-page, I think it's 12-page or 16-page booklet with tons of photos and liner notes and all that kind of fun stuff. It'll be coming out on gold vinyl and black vinyl as well as CD. The pre-order incentive for that, you know, the freebie Rox and Retro always give away free stuff with their pre-orders, is a this was the Holy Soldier pin. This is the Holy Soldier dog tag vinyl sticker, and there was of course also the full 5x5 sticker art of the cover. You can get all three of these along with the CD and vinyl of this. The CD reissue of Recon Behind Enemy Lines, which is being repressed, and this Love Life album, as well as the sticker for that. All of those together, and it was a bundle package that was available through Rox Records. Those sold out the day that they were put on there. I mean, they're gone. I can't remember how many there was. It might have been 50, but they're gone. There's none left. However, you can still get the vinyl. This one's coming out on colored vinyl and black vinyl. The Holy Soldier's on colored vinyl and black vinyl. The Holy Soldier will most likely sell out before its release date, which is in a few weeks, I think, or a month, maybe about a month away. Same with this one. The colored vinyl is selling out very quickly on both of them. There's plenty of black vinyl left. You can order either one. Love Life will be coming out on CD as well. Here is the insert. One side of the insert, the other side's got lyrics on it. This is actually a redo of the cover art, original cover art. I really didn't like the original cover art, and the band wasn't too happy with it either. The photo is actually the same photo that was on it. We just updated the look a little bit. It had a very 90s alternative look to it because they were on an alternative label, Blonde Vinyl, back in, just come out in like 89, 90, somewhere in that area. And this is just not alternative whatsoever. This is, you know, sleazy heavy metal from LA. It's a very good album, but it just didn't look right. So this is the redone album cover. As you can see, this is the cover, the front cover. This is the inside cover. These two covers kind of go along with the story of the song. Very excited about it. Again, CD, vinyl, Love Life, Rox Records. Super exciting. Still available through roxrecords.com. And I think that is it for now. Lots of new stuff coming though. I got a ton of work I'm working on, so I will show you more in the future. I appreciate y'all watching, so that's it. God bless. Stay strong.
I'll just start it off by saying welcome to Rat Salad Review. This is Greg here, and I'm on today with Dan Mongrain. Sorry, I don't speak French. I tried to say it as best I could.
All good.
A Voivod.
Hi.
And Yeah, coming on, Dan. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, thank you. Been back from the Japanese and Australian dates since 3 weeks, so I'm getting used to my apartment again and daily life until we hit the road again, which is in 2 weeks, basically.
Yep, yep. Hopefully, I'll be seeing you in Minneapolis.
Awesome.
Yep, I can't wait. I can't wait to see some of the new material from the Wake played live. I love that record.
Oh, thanks a lot. We worked so hard on this record, I can tell you. We're really happy with how people received it all around the world. We get some very strange invitation, like playing in a jazz festival, and, and it's really it's great, to be invited in different contexts like this. And Voivod can sometimes get that kind of gigs, which is very different from what we do usually. But it's great with that album. I feel like we've been able to fusion a few things musically, and people are appreciating it. So it's really exciting nowadays.
Excellent. And yeah, I believe so. I mean, the album is really just it's a masterpiece to me. And Voivod's been one of my favorite bands forever, but I was also really into Martyr, and I really liked the Gorguts album you were on.
Thanks.
So yep, not a problem. Warp Zone's still one of my favorite records. That's some great technical death metal right there.
Thanks. We were young, when I wrote Warp Zone. I was like 22, so I was really into that new scenes, with new metal scene with Cynic and Death and Meshuggah back in the day when they started. So it was kind of this intricate movement fusion with prog and death metal at the same. It was a very exciting era.
Yes, it was. I mean, just from that time period alone with Cynic, I also like Atheist a lot, and anything James Murphy played on is just a favorite of mine.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
Yeah, but I always really liked the Gorguts album too, because you really put your own sound on that record, but it still worked within the parameters of who they were, and obviously they've reunited now. But I thought that was a really good swan song for the band at the time, as compared to Obscura, which I just don't like.
Yeah, Obscura was a strange one, but I think it opened another door for metal. We like it or not. But yeah, the From Wisdom to Hate, I have learned the words and the vocabulary of the band before writing any notes, and that's part of my musician job, as a freelance, to learn different vocabulary and master it, and then play with it and juggle with it, so to speak. Because I'm also playing, and I played in a lot of different bands and genre, and accompanying a lot of singers, female and male singer in different country or blues or rock or whatever. So I had to learn how to be a musical chameleon, so to speak. And in metal, when you play in bands, as when they have strong identity like Gorguts or Cryptopsy or Voivod and Martyr. Martyr was easy because it was my own stuff, but I mean, you have to fit in without losing your own personality, musical personality, but you have to learn the language in order to speak it.
Oh yes, definitely. And you've always done a great job of that. That's one of my favorite things always when I would read interviews with you, is just how much different stuff you were into and played on and what you could write. But you share the same opinion I do, in that it's all just music, and you can bring those influences in and make it work together.
Yeah, I think it's music is only 12 notes, Occidental music anyway. So you have those 12 same notes in Wagner music and Stravinsky music and Cannibal Corpse as well. So just organizing it in a different aesthetic with different textures and sound, but basically we use all the same notes and the same chords.
Yes. And one particular moment I love on the Wake is the string quartet on the last song. I just thought that was a brilliant moment on that album.
Thanks a lot. Actually, the idea came when we finished recording the whole album. This was the last song, and it was not even written when we were in studio. I had to write it in 2 days during a weekend between a TV show gig in Montreal and studio time and my teaching in college. And I had no choice to, finding a way to. And I had like 2 minutes of music written, and then it ended up like a 12-minute piece. And when we finished recording that, because the Away was waiting for the tracks at the studio for me to finish it and for him to finish the album. So he did it. I sent the track on the Monday morning, and he recorded it during the day and the next day or so. And when we were there afterwards, when the rough mixes were kind of taking form, I was listening to the ending of that song, and I was like, really, slowly but surely hearing those strings, in my imagination. And I was like, oh no, that's not true. I really have to do this because I hear it in my head, but it's a lot of work. I thought I was done with the album, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, I took my pencil and started to write for string quartet, which I didn't do since university really. So it was quite getting back to this knowledge that I didn't really exercise all those years or trained all those years. But I'm really proud and really happy of what it became, and the quartet, the musician in the quartet were really good, and the first violin, Andréane Tremblay is her name, helped me with. She gave me some tips and cues about some techniques, and sometimes the voice leading during the arrangement. So she was very how can we say, she triggered a lot of creativity inside of me that I wouldn't have if she was not there. So it was a really good sharing experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when you're in a creative environment like Voivod, everybody is very creative in their own way, and no egos are in the way as to know, oh, that's my ID, that's not yours, and no, this is mine. It doesn't work like that. It's you get an idea, you play it in front of the others, therefore it's not yours anymore. It's everybody's. Right. And we're sharing the work and make this idea improve or survive. And that's what makes a great, I think, a richer song or idea or album, because you have the personality of everybody involved in it.
Yes, I agree. And that is particularly, one of the reasons why I love this record so much. Because, I'm recalling old interviews from years ago, but I believe Voivod always wrote like that collectively. At least I'm thinking of Dimension Hatros and Nothing Face, and those, along with Killing Technology, just such perfection and really so different. I still feel to this day that along with Coroner's album Punishment for Decadence in 1988, that Dimension Hatros came along and just took metal in such a different direction. It was just truly trailblazing. And the Wake, I really feel, picks up on just that exact same vibe and weaves its own tapestry that way.
That's cool to hear. That when I got into Dimension Atros when it came out, it was like a total, you know, complete experience. It's a journey in itself. You can listen to the whole album without stopping any tracks, and it times flies like it's 5 minutes long because your brain and your ears and your imagination are sorry
That's fine.
are stimulated a lot. So yeah, if the wake makes the same impression, I'm very happy with it.
Yes, yes, it definitely does. And just as being a fan of Martyr and your work for so long, I think it's one of the finest pieces of work you've personally laid down on record.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate a lot. It's a good tap in the back, so to speak, because during the process of this album, I really wondered if all those effort was worthing anything. And I said to my closest friend, I said, if this album doesn't get a good recognition from the fans, from the industry, from musicians in general, I might as well just quit music and do something else because I must be a very bad composer and or musician or whatever, artist, call it what you will. But that was my thinking back then. Like maybe I'm an imposter. Maybe I'm not good at what I do. You're always doubting.
Oh wow.
As an artist, you're always doubting, and it's part of the creative process. If you never doubt about what you're doing, I guess you're not an artist. But I was there in my thoughts. I was in that kind of, very big doubts of my entire life, and now I can breathe a little bit and say to myself, maybe I'm doing the right thing finally, because I'm really, 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 and we're really, really happy with all we read and we see and we feel during the shows and meeting the fans, and we have great comments and great feeling about what is Voivod today. So it's very encouraging.
Excellent. And I'm glad it's turned out so well.
Me too.
I mean, well, first of all, I can't wait, especially to see some of these songs live, which I bought the deluxe edition, and hopefully you guys still have the Lost Machine in the set list. That happens to be one of my favorite songs from the Outer Limits, and it was real cool to see or hear you play it live.
Yeah, I really like this song. I liked it from the start, and we're gonna keep it in the set for the USA tour because we didn't play it in the USA. We played it on 2 or 3 tours in Europe now, but we didn't have the chance to go back in the US since 2015, I think. So yeah, we're gonna keep it in the set for sure.
Excellent. And yeah, I mean, I always love Blackie's bass and his playing and all that, but I can't wait to see this lineup with Rocky live on stage. Your guys' chemistry is just so amazing in the videos I've seen.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. It's we can't stop laughing or smiling on stage because we have so much fun, and the attitude of everybody is very positive, and it's just joyful, and I think I never feel that way in a band before. It's very happy, traveling together, rehearsing, and playing, and it's important because 90% of the time you're not on stage, you're off stage, and I think the balance between us is really, really good, and we try to enjoy the most of it, out of it.
Oh yes. You still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. It did something weird.
Oh, no problem. Technology.
Yes. Killing technology. Oh, that actually reminds me. You and I actually have a very similar story to first discovering Voivod. I saw you mention the Ravenous Medicine video clip that you saw on a TV show.
Yeah.
Well, I was about 12 and I was just really starting to get into metal. And my older friend gave me an old Doomsday News VHS. And I think I saw the same run of videos because it starts off with Celtic Frost, Coroner, Creator. But then Ravenous Medicine came on, and I just said, what the hell was that?
Yeah, man. And the video is quite different as well. You know, the clip.
Oh, yes. I mean, it puts its message across great, and then just with the artwork, but and Snake with the faces and the different thing he does. The instruments and Piggy's playing blew me away. I mean, he's got a certain bounciness to it, and the way he would, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but would play his notes ascending or in the upper register of the guitar. That's truly amazing.
Yeah, totally. That's the first thing I noticed. Like, apart from the video, the images and the drawings were kind of, you know, very different, and I really liked it at first sight. You know, like there was a naive side about it and a low budget. You could tell, you know, but the guys were creative enough to make it work and be creative with so, you know, low budget and low, you know, bad technology or maybe it was, you know, novelty at the time. But anyway, and Piggy is playing up the neck, you know, actual triads. At the time I didn't know what a triad was, but you know, 3 different notes playing together instead of 2, because most of the metal band just played power chords, you know, and in the lower register and palm muting and everything. But it was like all open, you know, no muting in upper register with actual minor or major chord and diminished most of the time. But and I couldn't explain it at the time, even though I had like a basic piano lesson from childhood. But the sound of it was just, you know, with the punk voice and attitude, and very more complex music and more dense DENSE harmony.
Yes.
Than other bands. That was so different that I just fell in love right there with the band, with the music, and I thought I have to buy a guitar and do the same. Yeah, and I keep forgetting about Creator, but yeah, you're right. I think it was those 4 videos, probably the Montreal TV channel just used this tape and play those same videos at the same period of time. So yeah, it makes all sense.
Oh yes, and actually, you know, all 3 of those albums, Killing Technology, what was the Coroner one? Yeah, Punishment for Decadence, and then Creator's Terrible Certainty, because I just ran out and got all 3 of them after that, and it was just a real cool experience.
Yeah, for sure. And all different bands as well. You know, Coroner was very impressive. They could play, you know, and they had their own sound as well as Celtic Frost and Creator. Those were the days where exploration was part of, you know, the core of the metal scene.
Yes. Yep, and that's I had also seen you mention recently you were talking about death metal, and I feel the same way, being tired of the guttural vocals, and that's why I'm so thankful for the melody and Voivod.
Oh, and Snake is so good at it. You know, like Snake is not, he knows himself. He's not the greatest voice in metal, but I challenge anybody, any singer in the world in any style of music, to sing his part in Voivod through this whole bunch of dissonant chords and complex stuff. He comes with the most simple and the most hooking melody
Yes.
through this chaos, and it's unbelievable each time. When he started to sing over Obsolete Being in the jam space, I stopped him. What did you do? What did you do? Let's record it right away. Don't lose your ID. It's the perfect line. There's nothing to change, and it happens quite a lot. So he's born in that, he started his career with Voivod, and he's still singing Voivod. So that's his universe, and it's magical.
Oh yes, and one of my favorite performances by Snake has always been the Angel Rat album. He just does some beautiful stuff melodically on there, especially The Prowl is one of my favorite Voivod songs overall.
Yeah, it's very melodic on that album, and he has this different tone as well on that album, which I appreciate a lot. You feel like the voice was singed but not screamed at all. It was very mellow most of the time and very controlled. And there were no autotune back in the day. But yeah, you're right. I'm a little tired of guttural and Morse code riffs, so to speak.
Yes.
It gets tiring after a while. It was pretty new 20 years ago, but then everybody started doing it and tried to be original, but there's no originality to I think there's not much originality to get out of it now, unless you find a new way to exploit those kind of ideas, which I think there is, but yeah, it's sorry.
I was gonna say, yeah, there could be, but I think fusion is kind of like we were already talking, like Cynic and whatnot is more the future of metal. I feel like, as opposed to another angle on the guttural type of stuff.
Yeah, fusion is actually everything is fusion when you think about it. Everything started with the influence or something else, and then mixed with something else, and then you create a new kind of current. But the current in itself, we give a name to it at some point, and it becomes what it is. But it's a fusion of many things at start. And then you mix one current with another current, and you imagine it's the fusion between both of them, but it's a fusion about the fusion of both of them. So I think there's no pure current. It's all a fusion of anything, and it's the balance between what you fuse together that makes it beautiful or ugly.
That's very true.
So let's try to find the right balance between the elements. And what I like about music in general is that in a context of a band, you want to keep the essential parameters or colors that made the sound of the band at first, but then it always gonna sound with a signature when most of the color of the voice, the approach to the harmony and stuff like that, all the influences that are put together. Like when I started to compose with Voivod, I was not sure of how I would approach it, and I questioned myself a lot for the Target Earth album in 2013. But as we started, I started to ask less and less questions and just be natural and the most honest possible, and I think that's the only way to reach authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a yoga thing, or like Tai Chi, the breathe out and don't think too much and just play.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, that's you know, how it really happens organically. I really, the only person who was highly structured like that, who I really enjoy just about everything he did because he had his hands in so many different fusions of genres. And I actually wanted to ask you if you were a fan as well, but Frank Zappa.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's a genius. I mean, he's the kind of person that went deeply, deeply, deeply in his heart, and in his heart and in his art as well. With a good lapsus there. Yeah, you know, he learned every, orchestration, composition
Oh
technique.
yes.
He learned to play the guitar like nobody else. He has its own, had its own identity. When he wrote something, you recognize his style right away. You recognize his style when he speaks, when when he's conducting, when he's, so it's very, very strong identity. And I always, that's actually because of Voivod when I was a kid, because it was one of the first band I was, very surprised to hear and see. That became a criteria, a parameter for me to be curious about a style of or a band, a style of music or a band. I really need to be surprised and be touched by the uniqueness of a project. That's why I love Zappa. That's why I love Cardiacs, and that's why I really I don't listen to a lot, but I really respect and have a highly opinion about Primus and bands like that, because they are so different. And for me, it's very important to have your own words and language, even though there's a ton of good bands. There's only a few gems that are, very, very, very different and influence a lot of people.
Oh yes, definitely. And you guys really had your own thing like that up there in Quebec, Montreal, I believe. Oh, that super group that Pierre from Oblivion
Yeah,
organized, I believe that you were in.
yeah, yeah. You mean the Black Cloud project?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was fun. It was to commemorate, like to celebrate the 20th anniversary of metal in Quebec, which started basically with Voivod and a few other bands. But we formed this band because a promoter wanted to create like a super all-star band from local musician, and more well-known musicians. So it was like Flo Mounier on the drum from Cryptopsy. There was Blackie before Voivod reformed.
Hmm.
Pierre Rémillard from Oblivion, as you said, and there was two singer from local bands that are pretty well known as well. Barf singer and Ghoul Lunatic singer, and me and myself, and we played some classics like, Destruction, Sodom, Slayer, Creator, um, Celtic Frost, Voivod, Metallica songs. It was like an hour and a half set, something like that. But Flo played it so fast that it lasted an hour.
That's awesome.
That was fun. That was great fun that night. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that, especially Flow, because I love Oblivion. From this day forward, still one of my favorite records.
Yeah, very, very amazing band. It was actually the first band that made me like Virtual Voice, because their music and the voice could not sound as aggressive and as, in your face without these vocals. And from this day forward and the next one, Nemesis, played a lot in my car and in my CD player and cassette player at the time even. And that was the first act I saw locally in my hometown when I was in my late teenage years, and I was really, really impressed.
That's really cool. You did tabs for Nemesis, didn't you?
Oh, I did tabs because at the time I was living with Luke because I was working with Gorguts a lot. At the same time, we did the Warp Zone album. We did the From Wisdom to Hate album. And at the time, Oblivion did a greatest hits for the label here because they had like 5 albums out. And they wanted me to do a tab, PDF tab, so they could put it in a digital version on the CD. Back in the day, you could have a part of the CD there was data on it, like picture and link to the website and stuff like that. And they actually put the, I don't remember how many songs I did, but I think all the songs that were on the best of, I did a tab for it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I always wondered about that because I remembered reading that. That's a really neat connection there.
Yeah, and I ended up playing one song with them on stage, which was kind of a fantasy for me. I think I played Nemesis live at the Fufun Electric in Montreal, a very famous, underground club. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was great.
Well, that's awesome, Dan. We're right at about the half-hour mark here. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so.
No problem.
Is there anything else you wanted to say, or?
Well, we can't wait, man, to get back on the road and see our neighbors of the South. It's been too long, so we can't wait to play with this amazing lineup as well with Yob and Amenra, and it's gonna be just fun and meeting all our friends again. It's very it's very cool. It's very anticipated from us to go there again.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing you guys here at the Fine Line. I think it is on the 26th, and really looking forward to a new album too.
Well, I think we start to work on that very soon. So we have a lot of tour coming, but we're gonna bring some little small recording machines and start to work on ideas for sure. And thanks for your work, for your passion, and to keep the scene alive with your show. It's very important to everybody.
Thanks, Dan, and thanks for coming on.
All right, talk soon.
Yep. Have a good one, man.
Have a good one.